Alright, hey guys, welcome back. This week I'm going to be tackling none other than Conan the Barbarian. You know, normally I just go right in without any underlays or anything, so this time I was just trying to change it up just for my own sake, just kind of keep it fresh. So you're seeing me sketch on the whiteboard. For whatever reason, it was not something that I ever thought to do, but drew on there to kind of get a little underlay going. So yeah, doing a little different this week. It definitely helps always to do an underlay, and you know, if you've been watching this series, you know I just kind of free flow. So I don't know, I think the results are pretty cool. It's just like sketching on paper, but that was never the whole point of this medium, was just to kind of free flow and you know, just improvise and let it come as it is and enjoy the medium for what it is. I may or may not return to, you know, using the pencil. Depends. It'll definitely help when it comes to painting likenesses. So this past weekend is actually the first time I ever sat down to watch Conan the Barbarian 1982 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Probably gonna get a lot of flack for that, but you know, sometimes there's just certain films you just don't see till late in life for some reason. Honestly, it couldn't have been a better experience because the environment I was in had this kind of temple-like feel to it. There was a massive fire with a skull on it. There were two giant dog beasts lurking around, and all sorts of cool kind of macabre memorabilia all around me. And I just was like, man, there's actually no better environment to have sat down and seen that film for the first time. That definitely added to that whole experience. Did I like it? Yes, I did. It was very good. Specifically, a couple things. Obviously, Arnold's performance is great. The soundtrack was obviously fantastic. Now, I definitely gotta make room for Thulsa Doom. Like, that is one hell of a bad guy. Evil wizard, whatever you want to call him. Having done a little reading after seeing the movie, I found out, I guess in the books, he was sort of depicted as Skullface. And while I would love to have seen that, I think the route they went with just letting James Earl Jones just run the screen every second he's on camera is freaking great. He just, you know, he owns it, and it's such a, man, I guess I was not expecting how dark and kind of cult-like. I mean, obviously he is a cult leader, but the narcissism of that role is fantastic. The idea of someone doing this to, you know, Conan's tribe and his family and murdering them, and then the path Conan takes, and then coming face to face with Thulsa Doom at the end. He wants to take credit, and that's the beauty of it. In some way, he's actually right. He forged Conan. You know, all the metaphor and the lore of the steel being forged in fire, it beautifully culminates, you know, on top of that temple when Conan finally comes face to face with Thulsa Doom after all these years. And he's trying to take credit. You know, I made you. Look at this. Look at what you've become. It's because of me. And I guess, like, what else do you have to say other than, obviously he's going to lop his head off. And it's such an awesome scene. But man, I guess I really wasn't expecting that. So that was phenomenal. And I love practical effects. And seeing him shapeshift and change into the giant snake is freaking great. That's super cool. I definitely would have loved more of him. And I guess from what I've read, can't die, is what I've read. So he can just kind of be born again or manifest again. And if there's any good books that you guys recommend featuring Thulsa Doom in them specifically, or if there's any good runs with that, I kind of want to read more of that character. I don't know. I'm not too familiar beyond having read some of Savage Sword of Conan and The Frost Giant's Daughter, but I've never read any of the novels by Robert Howard. And I'll throw this out to anyone watching this: if you are a big fan of Conan, what should I read? Like, is there a specific graphic novel or novel? Like, point me in the right direction and I'll check it out. So I was definitely searching for something in all that noise of the squeegee in the background. Didn't quite have anything sketched out in the underlay for what I was going for, but sometimes it's just like a Rorschach test, and just sort of let the whatever lines are there kind of speak to me, and if I see an image, then I might run with it. But a lot of removal, trying again and again. It was kind of like 20 minutes, I swear, of me just trying to find something and then scraping away. And I thought about editing all this out, but I figured, no, I'll just let people see how it is. Sometimes you're just searching. I think right there you can kind of see, I've started to see some pillars and stone temples, stairs. Not really painting from anything specific from any of the books or anything, just kind of an overall dark fantasy landscape. Sort of a dark wizard mountain there. And then over here, I was like, oh, it definitely looked like some mammoth sort of waterfall fantasy landscape here. And so I'm really just reading and interpreting the lines that are laid out right there. And it just kind of, it informs itself. And I'm just improvising. I've heard from people to stay away from Conan the Destroyer. They just say, when I ask why, like what's wrong with it, they just kind of, it's different. So, having not seen it, if you are a fan of Conan the Destroyer, let me know why, and or if you hate it, let me know why too. Like I kind of want to know, what's like what the divide is, and I'm gonna have to check it out to see for myself. But in the meantime, I'd love to hear what fans actually think of those two movies. I want to shout out a huge fan of this show that started on YouTube. Is a TV series called Wayne, and then it got picked up by Amazon, and they have season 1 on Amazon. But Wayne is freaking awesome. I really loved that series, and there's only 1 season so far. Hopefully there's more. But the main character in it, you see him picking up a Conan comic in a store at one point, and there's a really awesome sequence in the very last episode of the season where you see Conan the Barbarian and Wayne on screen together at the same time, and the exchange, or the dialogue that I guess is straight out of Howard's book. A lot of fans of Conan said that's absolutely like one of the best depictions they've seen of Conan. And just kind of like a cursory knowledge of Conan, I thought it was a pretty fucking awesome scene. So I think having seen that, it kind of got me more in the mood to check out Conan the film. And if you haven't seen Wayne, I highly recommend that. Conan is not a huge part of it, but he's kind of like in a way, a sort of a spiritual mentor or a guide to young Wayne. And definitely check out season 1. Stick around all the way to the end, and you're gonna see a pretty badass appearance by Conan the Barbarian. Kind of looks like Glenn Danzig more than anything, which I think would be okay. He'd be pretty entertaining as a Conan, I guess. So if you've been watching some of the other Destroyed series, I had sort of split out the videos, and this time, you know what? I'm just bringing the destruction right back into these main videos because it felt a little weird. I don't think all the extra work I was putting into separating it for these dissolves. I think it's actually just more fun to include it all in one video. Everybody can see the destruction if they want to watch that. Find it all in one video instead of making people click on 2 different videos. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this week. Hope you enjoyed this episode and destruction of Conan the Barbarian. Please feel free to check out one of these other videos on this screen right here, and I will catch you all next week.